Okay, so I think that's too red, but I think this one is probably nearer, so I'm going to switch this out because that's a lot darker. I'm going to switch this one out. Okay, so move the ironing board. Bring my machine nearer, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. All right, so we're just going to thread up our machine again. Follow the arrows. Up, down, up, down. Here we go. In through our needle. And then we are going to just do a bit of old-fashioned darning along over this to give it some strength. Okay, so we're going to go get the zip out of the way, and then we're just going to go from the furthest area. And then I'm going to come down. My stitch is doing the wrong one really. I want the first stitch. Leave the needle down, come back, leave the needle down, come back. So we're making a box just around the damage. I think I need to go a little bit more than that. There's a little bit more damage there than I started with. Okay. And close the box. Now, you can do a zigzag if you want, but I think on this particular one I want to just go up and down. So I'm just going to very slowly come back down my sewing line and repeat getting in closer. Just up and down now. I'm not going to go across as well this time. I'm just going to go up and down. Stopping if I can at my across level. At the moment it looks a bit like a buttonhole. Basically, I don't really want much of that white to be showing, even though it's going to now be inside the seam. Just in case, I would prefer to fill. It's not exactly a job you can rush. Okay, we are nearly across. Okay, I remove from the machine. So on the reverse you can see where I've been sewing backwards and forwards there. And we're just going to remove my threads from both sides. So hopefully you can see that. That is what we're left with at the moment. You could probably just take another stitch across there actually. Yeah, maybe one more row just to cover that little tiny piece of white that's still showing. Okay. Right, so we've reinforced that now, and now our job is to get the zip back. I'm just going to trim off the interfacing. Okay, so we now have that, and we're able then to just trim off any of those old fibres that didn't get caught in. Okay, hopefully you can see that. We've just trimmed off all of those old fibres. Okay, so now the next job is to get the zip back in. Now, when you sew these, you really need to have a zipper foot, and there are special ones with grooves in that you can align your zip in with. Now, usually when you're sewing with these, you would sew to within about an inch of the zipper pull. Now this company haven't, and that is probably why this has not worked so well, because it just is too short and the stitching just cannot go the whole of the way. So I will probably, as I just move that out of there, I'm going to just go and see if I actually have got anything. I'd rather put a different zip in, even though the customer didn't ask for a different zip. But we'll see. We'll just pin this in, and what we're going to do is we're just going to be coming just over where we were, from where we were before. And then on the other side, we're just going to slightly compensate for that by bringing this over a little bit more at an angle. I don't know if you can see that. So that's where the original stitching was, and this is where I'm going to stitch again. Now, what I'd like to do is to just be able to just say, okay, we'll just stick it on the sewing machine and away we go. But it is very delicate, and I want to make sure that I can then line up what's going on below. So I'm going to tack that in, and then then we can press before we stitch to make sure that we've got it in the right way. So I'm just going to grab some, oh, that's a broken pin, not a needle. Might grab a needle. My timer's due to go off any minute now. I've got a customer due. Right, so I'm just going to grab my needle. And I'm going to come along and uncoil my zip, and just so near but not through those teeth. Ooh. Oh, my knot's come undone. Like a knot in the end. Okay. Come through. That's better. Okay, so uncoil your teeth and then stitch into there. All right, so we're just going to do a small running stitch, really. Well, I'll probably end up doing a back stitch because it should be a running stitch, but I have an awful habit of just automatically doing back stitch because it's stronger. Okay, so remove my pin. Okay, so we're leaning on the zip with my thumb. I don't know if you can see this, I'm not sure I've got the right angle. Leaning on the zip with my thumb, and then while it's out of the way, making a stitch through my fabric. Okay, another one. Okay, now we've got as near to the head as we can where the zip puller is. And I'm just going to come onto the other side and just finish it off there. Okay, just finishing that off. And then we'll get to do the other side. Okay, I have a customer, I'll be back.